All right, we're live. So you guys are uh, members of a community that lives deep within the Eldine reaches. Within your community, typically the main members are generally human, elven, half-elven, shifters. Occasionally there may be something a little bit outside of that. You might have a halfling or a gnome. There may be the occasional Goliath that came down from the Bieshk Mountains, perhaps, or a roving changeling, but generally the main population is human, elf, half-elf, and shifter. Within this community, it is largely cut off from the larger society that exists within Corvair. And so there's not very much in terms of industrialization or really even very much communication within the outside to the outside world. The main point of communication and commerce comes from the occasional visits from House Vidalis, which is a dragon-marked house of what is it called? The dragon-marked house of, well, they're the ones that work with the animals. They create mage breed animals, and they are have somewhat of a large influence within the Eldine reaches, at least the largest influence within the mainstream society of Corvair. And so if there is any commerce, exchange of ideas or goods, it's usually from an occasional contact that comes to the village, may speak with some of the druidic elders of the community, or engage in some kind of trade. This group, the community that you are in, the forest is relatively dense, and so many of the homes might be made on the ground amongst the trees, utilizing nature and trying, because you are a community that lives by druidic standards of life, you try to do your best to be one with nature. There may be other homes that have been built up into the trees and the canopy, and there may be there may be a small clearing not too far away where some others may reside. There's a stream, a small stream that runs through the community, providing some of the water, as well as being used to provide for fishing and some other aspects of life. And so that is the time frame that this game will take place is going to be probably several months before the time frame that we last left off. So I think probably a good idea of visualizing it would be around the time that maybe you met Tacitus and originally began your research at the Tower of the 12. And so given that, knowing the setting and sort of the community, you are all villagers or members of this loosely bound commune of individuals. And so go ahead and describe your characters. And
so I am Dudo Millbridge. I'm a halfling. I'm relatively new to this community. Nobody's really sure why I'm here, because originally I was a masseuse and I was told that there would be good business opportunities here. So moved here from a larger city and was very dismayed to discover that this is a small rural druidic community and not a more bustling town where a masseuse would be more in need. I'm about 3.5 feet tall, have blonde hair. It's braided up so that it almost looks like dreadlocks, but it's very extremely braided. Comes down and frames my face. Other than that, I've basically just been kind of lost since I've gotten here, and I'm constantly trying to drum up business in my my massage parlor.
So you've gone ahead and established yourself at least somewhat in the community, and have even a place where you provide massages and other de-stressing.
And it is shocking how many people here want happy endings.
Well, nature, go with the flow, man.
I am Tonelius. Human, really hopes to one day be a druid. Would really like that. And so in order to sort of train himself to be one with nature, he walks around naked a lot.
Okay. I will point out that I believe around the time that you guys were at the Tower of the 12, it was in just around winter time.
Mm-hmm.
So,
is this forest not like a nice warm rainforest?
No, it's not a rainforest. It's more of a deciduous forest. Pine trees and such.
Well, he does not like to go outside then, right now.
Okay, fair enough.
Do we have a name for this town?
So generally the druidic town and ways, they don't want to put a name to it, because by putting a name to it would be in essence trying to stake a claim on the area or the essence of what they've created, and so they don't generally give this place a name. But if one has to give it a name, they would call it maybe the Homewood, or there's an interesting tree that seems to kind of have interesting designs within the bark of the tree, and so they may call it next to the rune tree or something along those lines.
Okay. So I am Lucius Moredown, the human, older. My hair has been dyed black. Carpenter. Not particularly happy about all these people coming into this quaint little Homewood area, like these halflings who are setting up seedy massage parlors and things like that, and these other young people who want to walk around naked because they think they're going to get in touch with nature. So there's serious problems here in the Homewood. So.
We can call this one shot hippies and hookers.
All right, I'm writing that down. Hippies and hippies.
Although we did, I just realized, miss our opportunity to play the hillbilly dwarves we encountered last time.
Oh, missed opportunities. All right, so it is the winter months, although it is coming towards the end of the winter months. So spring is right around the corner. There's a light dusting of snow upon the ground and in the trees. But the stream is starting to unfreeze and run a bit more freely than it had been in the deeper parts of the winter. So why don't we start by kind of you guys giving me or giving each other a little bit of a snapshot of the day in the life for Dudo Millbridge, Tonelius, or Lucius Moordown. Do you guys know each other? Have you had interactions in the past? What kind of things are you guys doing day to day?
Well, Lucius is clearly in need of a massage to release some tension. So, and we clearly know each other because he's constantly staring at me. I know he wants a massage. He's just one of those people who's too shy to like walk in and pay for the service. So I am probably, unless I have a customer outside most days, urging everyone to take a couple minutes for themselves, treat themselves for a change, get a massage, particularly the nude guy when I see him when he's outside, because he should be an easy sell, I would think. But I am especially interested and always trying to interact with Lucius to get him to give in and come get a massage.
So given that, I will say there is not I wouldn't say quite a leader, although they are respected in ways that make them akin to a leader, and it is a shifter by the name of okay. Baldy Goldstriker.
You're just talking about yourself.
Shifter.
and he is a druid, or at least he is a practitioner of the druidic ways, particularly within a sect of druidic calling known as the Wardens of the Wood. He because of his position as both the respected druid leader sort of the town, as well as something of akin to like a shaman and town healer, he generally lives a bit farther away from the town, as most shamans and druids of their nature tend to have somewhat of a strange relationship with those that they look out for and have but Dudo, your presence would have been noticed by Baldy, and he would certainly welcome your attitude of encouraging others to take a moment for themselves and to help them relax, and would be very appreciative of the services that you offer.
Guy's a hack.
Oh, always good to have a customer. Don't know, like, do I charge double if he shifts like mid-massage?
I don't know if you ever would have actually partaken in your massages, but he certainly is approving of your general message and demeanor.
Being such a remote town, surely we don't pay in coin.
Nope, everything is barter and trade.
Return favor for favor.
Oh
will have
God,
to
is
collect.
this the game we're gonna have tonight? Of course it is.
I will have to collect IOUs then, because that's the best way for me.
You mean you don't want me to return the favor? But yeah, basically, Cornelius is like, once he gets inside of a place and it's warm enough, he'll basically strip down.
Okay.
So the massage parlor, of course he would go there. Why wouldn't he go there? He just go there. It's like, nice and warm, and just lay down and go to work.
Okay.
But otherwise, he probably doesn't. He probably sees what was that guy's name? Baldy something.
Baldy Gold Striker.
Gold Striker. He's like, name like that. This guy's obviously a hack. He's not really a druid.
There are rumors that before he came to this town, in his youth, he was often noticed that when he would shift and he was a bit angrier and more militant in his youth, that his hands would take on a golden hue similar to that of a lion and their claws, which may be part of where the name came from. The Baldy, though, is never been fully explained.
Just a kid.
Nor should it be. It should be left alone.
A kid just called him Baldy one time because he was all furry, and it stuck. Now everybody calls him Baldy.
So Dudo is all about spreading his message of love and care and taking care of yourself and trying to make a living doing this. I'm sure it's a shock going from being in the cities and accepting coin to managing a barter type trade system economy. And then we have Cornelius, who's frequenting the makeshift parlor that Dudo has set up, often naked. And then Lucius.
He probably doesn't even know. Like that. It's like, oh, this is what happens. He's from the city. It's what they do in the city, obviously.
Yeah. Right.
He grew up here. You don't know.
And then Lucius, what does your normal daily interaction look like?
I just do the odd jobs around, since I do carpentry. I just do the odd jobs around town in hopes that I can barter for things to get my black hair dye, because that's really important. And never missing the opportunity to cast a stink eye at Dudo or this other hippie that walks around naked, or these other people that are just infiltrating our town, our little druid community, and ruining it.
But I am a druid, man. One day.
So Cornelius, have you ever attempted to speak or learn from Baldy?
No, because he's a hack.
Oh.
Yeah. No, he probably ranges in the woods a little bit. Like just seeing if he can find a real druid.
So I'm curious for Cornelius, what is his definition of a real druid? What is it that he's seeking?
Somebody who's actually a druid. I've never seen this guy do anything druidy.
But how would you know that he's a druid?
He looked like one.
Yeah, exactly. He would have all of the same robes as a druid, I've seen a lot of pictures.
Straight white human. Male.
Like, obviously, he needs to be able to turn into a squirrel. Duh. And, you know, whatever other animal every once in a while, but squirrel's the main one, so that way you can get up in the trees. How else are you supposed to get in the trees?
So, is that your goal for being a druid? Is to become a squirrel?
Perhaps secretly. Like, he doesn't really know what a druid is, obviously.
Okay. So, curious, do any of you have any family that live in this community, or any special individuals or relationships?
Well, I like to think that I actually moved my whole family out here for this.
Even worse.
Great opportunity.
Oh God, how big is that family?
Well, it'll be my wife and 3 children.
With 6 on the way.
Do you want to give them
And
names?
even before I got here, I probably was sending letters to my brother saying how great it was and how he should move his family out. And now I'm a little panicky about that. It turns out they don't even have any coin here to pay with. Should have done some more, little more research on this place maybe before coming out.
On the plus side, you don't need coin.
Yeah, so my wife is Eglantine, and then my children are Jillian with an E, Marigold, and Rose.
I like to imagine that Tonelius has a senile old mother. He just calls her Ma. Hey, Ma.
Where do I even want to know where you get those names, Kurt?
I just have a name generator.
That's awesome. All right, so then
Eglantine?
Yep, Eglantine. Like the famous song. Oh, my darling. Oh, my darling. Well, famous
Right.
among halflings, at least. Maybe your kind doesn't sing the same songs.
all right, so Tonelius has a senile mom. Do they live together?
Yeah, probably.
Okay. So that's a sitcom waiting to happen.
I like to imagine
she's just like senile enough that she doesn't realize that he walked around naked all the time. She just doesn't know. She's just oblivious to pretty much everything in the world.
Priorities.
Yeah, well, when my grandma went senile, she got naked all the time, so probably works out.
Maybe she is too. Maybe like she went senile early. Like she got something maybe struck her, some weird ailment that poxed her mind, and she went senile early, basically.
I think they call that the I don't know. I'm going to use the story notes for this one. The doily, the singing doily fungus.
Oh.
Oh, that one. Yeah.
Oh boy.
it rots the mind and brings on early dementia and senility.
But they can knit a mean doily.
Oh, absolutely.
That whole idiom "knit a mean doily" has a completely different meaning in Peter's game. I hope.
So our house it's just doily on every surface. Multiple. Yeah.
And the reason that it's called that is because actually the way that the fungus grows, it does look almost like a knit white sort of pattern that then becomes kind of a component of the fungus is that there is that obsessive component of this design. So that would explain what there is, and it's also singing because as the wind passes through these intricate fungal architecture, it creates a ghostly whisper. So it's almost like a song. So
I think we're seeing the seeds of whatever infected all those people who attacked us.
You mean Ma's gonna explode into a killing cloud?
And then
no, Mama, no!
Lucius, you seem like you are a homegrown Homewood resident. Do you have any significant relationships or family in the area?
No. My family moved away. Is this first chance I got?
Moved away. They didn't move away from you, but from the town. They weren't
Correct.
trying to get away from the curmudgeon.
Correct. I do live. Well, my cousin Wendell lives with me. He is younger, and he seems to latch on to things really quick. And his latest thing is, he's into the gods. So he is like worshiping all of them. So he has all their little idols and books, and he's just learning all about them. And I tried to explain to him that it's a colossal waste of time, and that maybe he should pick one or two, but he's decided all of them would be appropriate.
So all of the Sovereign Host, all of the Dark Six, the
all
Silver
of them.
Flame,
the Path of Light, the Path of the Undying, everybody. He's just all into that.
Wow, even the Undying. That is religion that you don't see much in Corvair. You got to go to the next continent over, the Elven Kingdom, to get into that. So
yeah, I'm hoping that he really latches onto that and leaves.
All right, so you guys are going about your business, and then
So I am outside drumming up business, just talking to everybody who walks past. Hey, buddy, want to come inside? Want to get a massage? Hey, we got everything you want inside. As long as you want what you want is a massage.
Are you fucking kidding me? Okay. How am I getting names out of these? All right, so it's still a bit early in the morning. Dude, yes. Dudo is hawking his massages. Tonelius is probably somewhere naked.
He's out trying to get in touch.
Lucius.
He's probably hugging a tree. Let's be honest. And like looking up, like, "Hey, squirrel! Hey, squirrel!" Come here.
And Lucius is yelling, "What are you doing to that tree?"
Leave it alone.
while engaged in some kind of manual labor task. When a young lady by the name of Glendale Mountain Shadow suddenly releases a piercing scream.
Like, how far away from where I am is this scream?
You guys are all relatively close to one another, and you see a number of people run in the direction of the scream. It's not too far away. It's at the edge of what would be considered, where people tend to make their dwellings and go about their business. So just a little bit outside of what would be considered, I guess, the town or village.
So is this a scream of passion or pain? And is it coming from the masseuse parlor?
It's in that general direction from where you are, but it is definitely a cry that is full of terror.
And what do we know of her? Is she is she a human or a half elf? Do we know who she is in town?
Yeah, she is a half elf, married to Zeplik Mountain Shadow.
Yeah, definitely a douchebag.
And they are they're pretty well respected within the town, well known. They're pretty lively, upbeat couple. So she's a half elf, he's a human, and they just a little bit of background information. You know that they've been trying to conceive children for quite some time and have been unable to. And generally, both Zeplik and Glendale tend to be gardeners, working the land for the growth of various herbs and small root vegetables.
Yeah, I mean, Tony Elias would be curious, but not going to be in a rush. He'll walk over.
I would be in a rush. I'll be slower probably than the average member of this community anyway, but
So, and then Lucius, what are you doing?
Well, I see that I hear the noise. I'm doing a little bit of carpentry work. I see that you said there was Dudo and Tonelius have left, and there's some other townsfolk headed that way.
Yes.
Well, this is great because now the streets are less occupied and there's less noise and commotion, and I'm happy to let them go and do what they want. So, good.
On the other hand, you heard a scream coming from the general direction of my shop and then saw me running away. So this could be your opportunity to get rid of me for good.
I definitely watched that. I haven't left yet. I'm going to try to take in the quiet.
I will say that while you hear the scream, you might not recognize it necessarily as Glendale's scream, but for Lucius, Glendale and Zeplik both kind of represented people that have lived in this town, village, commune thing for several generations. And so they are pretty established members of the community. I don't know if that might change your attitude towards them, but there's that.
I'm not going to head right over there. It's definitely take an interest. I will just keep an eye and ear out for whatever else I hear.
Okay.
If it's something horrible, maybe the people who rush over there will be killed first, and then I will be fine.
Okay.
It's a win-win.
So, when those that do run over see that she is cradling in her knees her dog, a beloved golden retriever, and it seems to have been ripped apart viciously, but then off in, well, actually, Glenn or Dudo and Tonelius, roll me d6s.
3.
4.
Okay. So both of you notice something off in the distance, although Dudo, something bad happens when you notice it. So if you want, you can say what bad happens, or you can give it to me.
I'll give it to you, as I'm not thinking of anything.
Okay. So you kind of notice it over in the distance, but as you notice it, somebody else behind you also notices it, but doesn't notice you, and kind of knocks you to the ground, giving you a face full of snow and a bit of hard earth right in the mouth.
Why are we running towards the screaming anyway?
Well, because I don't know. Tonelius.
Yeah.
So both of you see off in the distance a humanoid figure laying in the snow, and it's you notice that it's like the area around it seems to be spreading with a kind of with red, so as if its blood it's actively bleeding. Judo, the person that knocked you down says, "Oh, I'm sorry there, I didn't see you. Excuse me." And he kind of helps you up and brushes you off. All this commotion, it's
Yeah, it's I can understand why one of the tall people like you might not have noticed me. Hey, you look like you need a massage. You should stop by my shop sometime.
I think that this is probably not a good time to be
There's always a
advertising.
good time for a massage, though. Just think about it. Keep it in mind. I'll give you a special rate. Then I'll start running again.
They really are pretty good. Pretty good. I'm gonna go check that out. I'll walk off.
So you guys walk over, and you see what looks like a person face down in a snowbank, with the blood kind of spreading from their upper body from some indistinct area. There's no clear wound or anything on the back. The person seems to be wearing clothing akin to what you would expect people in your village to be wearing. So it's all kind of homemade leathers and furs.
Do I recognize the person?
Not from the back, no. They're face down in the snow currently.
So, how many people are around us right now?
So you look up and there's maybe 2 or 3 others. They're not as brave as you guys though, and they're kind of standing back with kind of looks of shock.
I go up and poke it with a stick. Do you think it's dead?
Yeah, that they're not as brave as us is a problem because I was questioning why I was even running in this direction. I'll walk around to the other side as he's poking it with a stick and crouch down and see. Is there blood or anything?
Yeah, there's blood and it seems to be spreading. So he's actively bleeding.
So I am going to roll this person over so they're facing up and start looking for the wound.
So the wound is basically their face. Their eyes seem to have melted and are just gaping, bleeding holes. They have freely running blood from their nose and mouth. There's no other wounds other than that, but roll me a d6.
1.
So you kind of try to look a little closer, and because it's like wet and slippery, you fall face first this time into the face, and get a bit of blood on yourself.
Face plant into the face.
Just laugh. Is it dead?
Yes.
It looks dead.
Oh.
I was asking.
So I am going to go get like a handful of snow and begin scrubbing my face vigorously with it.
I will say, since you're a halfling, if you roll a 1, you can have 1 time in the game where you have a reroll to represent your halfling luck. So moving forward.
Okay. For now, I'm just using snow to scrub my face and try to get it off.
You do notice as you're scrubbing the blood from your face, I mean, you have a general idea of what blood smells like, obviously, but there's other odors that you wouldn't expect, very pungent odors coming from this thing, and especially the fluids that are now on your face.
Can we smell? Everybody smell that?
Roll me a d6.
2.
No. Only Dudo for right now, and only because it's literally right in his face.
Why are you making that face?
I'm going to go back up to the corpse and like kneel down next to it carefully as I can.
Mm-hmm.
And then start sniffing to see if I can identify what those smells are. Is it coming from the blood or something else? Or
All right, roll me a d6.
6.
Yeah. So you can very clearly smell that it's coming from the blood. And as you're sniffing the blood, you notice the blood has a slightly off color to it. It's a little bit darker than you might expect, almost a bluish tint to it. And also, as you're kind of sniffing the body, you notice that its fingers are pretty mangled. And not like they've been like injured or like bitten into or anything like that, but as if this person, it's almost like they've been clawing at like trees or at a wall or something, because its nails are just ruined. The skin on the tips of its fingers are just completely torn away. It's quite strange.
And this is like a male figure.
Yeah.
So it's not even the person who screamed.
No. The person who screamed was clearly Glendale. And as she's like cradling her dog. And you can also see that the dog seems to have survived whatever it attacked it initially, and it's crawled from this person, their corpse, before it passed.
Mm.
So I'm
she's
going to go
alive,
up and, with as much diplomacy and decorum as I can, sniff the dog.
Roll a d6 to see how well this is taken by poor Glendale.
4.
Oh, so how you're able to succeed? How are you able to get to do what you want without Glendale showing any kind of resistance?
So I am going to, she's presumably taller than me, but I'm going to like kneel down. So I'm actually probably like below her eye level and say, I don't know what happened here, but obviously this is a tragedy for you and for whomever our friend here is. But I just have to check to see if there's some connection between the two deaths. And then I go in and sniff the dog, trying to find like blood if the dog has blood on it.
Connections? She says as she through tears, but she doesn't give any struggle. But you did roll a 4, which actually is a succeed. But so in addition, as you're sniffing the dog, you slip and fall into the dog.
Hey, quit playing around, man. I'm trying to figure shit out.
So you get a face full of dog that is in the lap of this girl, whose husband has come over and is now comforting her, and they're both kind of staring at Dudo, like with incredulity in their eyes.
You know, this village really needs to get a shoemaker that knows how to make decent treads. These flat bottom shoes are killing me.
You gotta go barefoot, man. You got all the grip in the world.
Is your character currently naked?
Probably not totally. His feet's probably been trained enough to where he can walk around without shoes on or anything like that. But a very, very loose fit, like ripcord, everything's gone sort of thing.
So if you're not wearing shoes, then I'm going to walk over and stomp on one of your feet. That's why we wear shoes.
Ow!
So Lucius, while all of this is going on, what are you doing?
Well, I'm kind of keeping an ear out for what's going on, and I would say maybe one or two of the people have come back once they've found out what's going on, and I overhear them mention that there's a body. I not really care, and then they mention the dog, and I stop everything and I make a beeline over there because it's giving me flashbacks to my last dog that I had, which I named John Wick. So I run over there.
So yeah, you see Glendale and her husband Zepplik kind of holding each other while they caress their deceased dog, who was mauled pretty badly. And then you also see Dudo with all kinds of fluids and snow and dirt on his face, and Tonelius, who is currently holding his foot for some reason, crying out in a bit of pain, and then another body that seems to have a trail that leads to the dog.
Okay, so I'm relieved that Cornelius has clothes, and I don't know what Dudo is doing. I'm going to go over to the body, and I've brought my hammer with me just in case,
Mhm.
and examine it and see if I can tell what has happened.
Okay. Go ahead and roll a d6.
4.
All right. So you can see the many of the details that Dudo was able to discern, such as the bleeding from the face, the messy nature of the hands, but it's also you think you see an expression on the man's face that makes you think that you definitely didn't like this dude.
Is he a local?
That's a shock.
You gotta be more specific. I mean,
you kind of get the sense that he is,
do
but
I know who he is, or just
you think that it might be. Steve Dancing Horn.
Name like that, of course you don't like him.
no, I don't.
Fucking dancing horns.
The whole damn dancing horn family. So I'm like, in all of the dark sixes, what has happened? And I look over at the girl who they're cradling her dog, and I say, "Did you let Dancing Horn walk your dog?"
And then you hear, "What do you mean?" And in the crowd, you see Steve Dancing Horn.
So do they look the same, or?
Now that you get a second look at it, you get the sense, oh, maybe it's not him.
But I look back at the live Dancing Horn and point at him, and go, "I got my eye on you too."
Lucius, why do you have to be so weird?
Why do you have to be you?
I'm gonna go turn the body over and look at him.
You mean turn it over again?
I mean, I imagine he's still face down. Nobody's. I don't remember recall anybody actually turning him over. Okay, yeah.
Dudo turned him over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. All right. I missed that. Yeah, I'm gonna actually take a look at this guy and check pockets. Maybe he's got some good squirrel feed.
So
Are you looting the dead?
What? I'm just reclaiming what nature gave him, man.
So, within his pockets, you don't really find a whole lot. You find a knife, and
I've been needing a whittling knife. Ma wouldn't let me have one.
You find a knife and a strange totem that is made with the skull of a vole mixed with like interwoven with some kind of thorns.
But like clearly not a real bull.
No, vole.
Vol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard bull. What does vol look like?
It's like a mouse or
Yeah.
shrew.
Hmm. All right. I'm totally gonna take that. It's like, dude, this is awesome. This guy might have actually been a druid. Fuck, man. Who killed this guy? I just look over. I look over to the lady and her dog.
So at that point, a voice of authority kind of speaks up and says, "What is it that's happened here, Glendale? Did you see what happened to your dog?"
Is it Baldy?
It's not Baldy, actually. It is. So, Kurt, you say you have a name generator?
I do.
Dice ain't cutting it.
I just get the strangest shit. So this,
You're the one that owns a billion fucking story dice.
I know. So his name is Font High Storm. And that is because the images that I got were a lightning bolt, a fountain, and a building. So I didn't know what the fuck to do with those. So Font High Storm.
So is he like the local mayor, or is he like the authority figure?
No, but he's one of the respected elders. A bit younger than some of the others, but still respected within the community. And then as Font asks his question to Glendale, she kind of shakes her head and says, "No, I just found him here like this. Oh, poor puppy. And then he goes off and examines the body. And then he says, "Does anybody know this man?" And there's just a bunch of shrugs. Is anybody missing? Is anybody?
I'm still here.
We are aware of that.
Yes, that's comforting, Tonelius. Go back to your squirrels. Regardless, is there anybody else that may have gone off and has not returned? And there's just a bunch of shrugs and head shaking. Perhaps it was not a local.
Well, maybe we should go back to the actual village and try to track people down. I mean, my wife and kids aren't here, so I assume there's plenty of people who aren't here.
Yes, we'll need to do a little bit more investigation. Hopefully this is not one of our own. But if it's not, well, perhaps one of the neighboring villages. But what would drive a man to do this? How did he, and why is he dead?
I just like as I look over to Lucius.
I mean, I don't think he tore his own face off.
No, but he doesn't seem to have torn his face off. There's no wounds. It's just bleeding.
Right, which doesn't suggest to me that something happened to the dog and him, not he did something to the dog and then spontaneously bled to death.
Maybe. But these...
I mean, how is the dog injured? What wounds does the dog have?
It just seems like his legs have been broken. His chest has been caved in. Lots of blunt force trauma, but also as if something was tearing at the dog's fur and skin.
Does it look like maybe that has something to do with what happened to the body's hands?
It seems like that would certainly go towards explaining some of it, but not really. I mean, the condition of his hands, it's really extreme. Even if he did really beat this dog and go to town on it, it wouldn't have resulted in what you see with his hands.
So I will point that out to High Storm, that the hands are mangled. It doesn't even seem, I assume the body's like out in the open. It doesn't even seem like there's anything nearby that he could have damaged his hands like this on. Certainly not attacking the dog.
Good point, Judo. Well, let's go. Glendale, Zeplik, is there anything that you guys might need? And they just kind of shake their heads. And he says, "Well, we will perform the burial rites for the lost member of your family later. So let's leave the body here for now, and well, that would not be good actually, because then it might be eaten by scavengers."
Also, before we move the body, what is the smell in its blood? In the body's
Smell?
blood? Yeah, kneel down and take a whiff of the blood. It smells off.
How would you have known that?
Because obviously I took the opportunity to smell it.
He fell on it.
Quiet you.
So
I may have had a little incident where my flat-soled shoes and the snow did not interact positively.
So I whisper to High Storm. Told you those halflings are blood drinkers. I told you.
Maybe now's not the time to get into this, though. Lucius, come help me with the body, and give me a moment to smell it, I guess.
Tony is gonna like sidle up quietly next to where the dog is. Are they sitting or are they standing holding this dog?
They're sitting right now.
He's gonna like kind of like get close and like lean in. It's like, hey, talking to the dog. Hey, I don't suppose you're a druid, like that just looks like a dog. Do you know who did that?
Roll a d6.
4.
All right.
Success, but
So
I don't know what I succeeded at. But
you draw some strange stares from Zeplik and Glendale, and then another person within the crowd. You feel them slap you on the back of the head and say, "Tonelius, what's wrong with you, man? Even for you, this is a bit crazy.
Could be a druid. Fuck it off.
Don't druids revert to their normal form when they get to 0 hit points?
Dog's not at 0 hit points. Oh, I thought the dog was alive still.
No.
No, it's
The
dead.
dog's dead. Fuck. I couldn't tell.
Well, yeah.
Terrible.
You will be a fine druid one day, I can tell.
Maybe he's playing dead. Maybe he thinks he's a possum, but he's actually a dog.
The Zeplik takes the dog from Glendale and picks it up, bearing its weight, and they solemnly begin to walk back to their home. Much of the crowd begins to disperse. High Storm asks Lucius to help him with the body to bring it back into the town. Lucius, do you help him with that?
Yeah. Sure, because there'll be an opportunity that we could burn this thing. So.
Yeah, which, for outsiders, that is the typical way of dealing with the dead. For those that live within the town, the rites are a little bit more specific and ritualized, but for outsiders, it typically is just burning it on a funeral pyre. So you guys make your way to the town. There is a dwelling that Hightower brings the body to with Lucius's help. This dwelling is kind of where the apothecary is, and the person that is typically there is Iris Swelltoast.
I know Iris. Iris. That's who I get my black hair dye from.
Yes, that would be very likely. Iris Swelltoast. And she is a shifter with knowledge of herbs and basic healing remedies. So typically when people are sick, or especially if people have passed, which is something that happens from time to time in this very close-knit community, she is the one that typically deals with it.
Seeing this makes my character a little bit nervous. He doesn't like that these countrified rubes take dead bodies into the apothecary shop. He doesn't know what they do with them from that point. Plus, my autocomplete took she has knowledge of herbs and tried to add and spices.
All 51 herbs and spices.
Tastes like chicken.
And so you guys bring it in there, and she's like, "What is this?" And High Storm says, "We found a body outside. We don't know if it's one of our own. We can't really recognize the details of the face." She says, "Well, put it on the slab over there." And there's kind of a stone that has been kind of carved and repurposed into a large table. And you notice that some of the things that are kind of treated like furniture, are natural formations that this place was kind of built around. And so the body, you guys place the body on it, and she begins examining it, and she starts burning a bundle of dried herbs and kind of smoking around the body in a ritual of cleansing that Lucius has probably seen from time to time.
Not enough.
And so Tonelius and Judo, what are you doing while they're taking the body there?
I am going back to my shop where I assume my family lives, like in the back, so that I can wash up. And then I will start writing another letter to my brother describing yet another glorious day here in the forest. The winter is brisk, but not too cold. The snow is never slippery, and there are no corpses anywhere.
Is it warm inside the apothecary's hut?
Yeah, there's a nice little fireplace in there.
I've been standing outside too long. I gotta warm my buns.
Oh yes, Tonelius, just walk right in.
No problem.
And you can tell that she's kind of being sarcastic, but she actually has kind of a warm attitude towards you.
Yeah, so he walks in. He goes kind of near the fire. Some good smelling herbs.
Pulls apart the breakaway suit.
It's nice in here.
Lucius, how do you respond to this happening?
I just try to distract myself by staring at Iris's mole.
Fair enough. So she begins looking over the body and notes that she can't really say how this person died other than blood loss, but she basically confirms what High Storm was suggesting, that there doesn't, outside of what's happened to the hands, there doesn't seem to be any actual injuries. The eyes just seem to have dissolved within the face, and massive bleeding from all of the face. Even the ears seem to have bled as well.
So eyes without a face, definitely not of human race, right?
Well, no, this person had eyes.
It's a song reference that maybe you missed.
So yeah, it's quite strange. And then another person kind of walks into the hut and addresses High Storm and says, so we've counted all of the villagers are here and accounted for. It seems like this person was an outsider. And you see High Storm kind of mulling over that information. Well, if that's true, this may be a problem. If this person was an outsider, then there may be more of them coming, or they may be people wondering what happened to this person. Bless you. Bless you. Bless you. And so he kind of begins mulling over that information.
But it's definitely somebody not from the town.
Yeah.
Is it common for strangers to come through the town, or just?
You know, it happens every once in a while. It's a pretty rare event. Maybe once a year or so, there might be a person that wanders through the forest. Usually, they're just lost. Um, you know, there's also the individuals such as Dudo who might wander in and decide to make a residence of it.
So
But that's even more rare.
did I see Tonelius put that little figurine or whatever in his pocket?
It didn't seem like he was being secretive about it. Were you,
Okay.
Tonelius?
No.
Yeah, so you might have noticed that he definitely got one big thing and one littler thing that he pocketed both items.
Okay, so I will excuse myself and say I will be right back. And I am going to find Wendell, my cousin,
Mm-hmm.
who is probably back at my abode, sitting around eating some sort of food, doing nothing as usual,
Mm-hmm.
and tell him to follow me and bring him in and say, we found some kind of idol that Tonelius has, and go identify it.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Pull up my pants and it's in one of these pockets.
wait, you found something of the gods?
What? I don't know.
Lucius, that's awesome.
I
I
think
would love to see it.
I just think it's a special idol that a druid would definitely use one of these for sure.
Can I
So
can I see
I want
it,
it back.
please?
I want it back.
Sure, but can I see it?
I want it back.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll hand it over.
So he takes it and he looks over it a bit and he's like, "Oh wow, this is very interesting. I wouldn't have, huh? Well, this it's not something of the gods. Tonelius here is actually not far off. It is a totem, based on what is making up this totem and some of the things about it. It seems to be related to the children of winter. And you guys can roll me a d6.
Is that everybody?
Yeah.
3.
Everybody's
I'm not there.
interested.
3.
All right. So 3 is a fail, but so you guys don't know anything about the children of winter specifically. But you get a sense that it's not good news.
But I want my idol back, please. Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
I don't want you to talk about like this is obviously a squirrel head.
Right, but the way that the squirrel head is prepared, and then also how the vines are intertwined with it, it's definitely reminiscent of something that the children of winter would do. They're a druid sect. I can't remember very much about them. I haven't been studying the druids so much as the gods. Those are the really interesting thing, the gods. But you know, it's related to druids, so maybe Baldy Goldstriker would know something about it.
Whatever. He ain't gonna know anything.
So where do we know where Baldy is? Where he hangs out?
Yeah, everybody has a good idea where he is. And while he kind of keeps some distance from himself and the rest of the residents of the town, preferring to live in a semi-sequestered sort of loneliness, he's never one to shy away from visitors, so there would be no concern in going to see about this matter.
Okay. I'd just tell Wendell to go fetch him.
Go fetch him?
Go get Baldy, Wendell, and bring him here.
Man, don't bring that guy here. He's not going to help us. He's got nothing to offer us.
What am I going to tell him?
You're going to tell them that we need his assistance.
But with what?
Just go do it, Wendell.
I don't think he's going to listen to me.
Well,
what am I? I'm just telling him I'm going to go to a respected shifter druid's house, and at that, Iris is like, hey, no excuse, but you guys are a little scary, okay? With the looking kind of wolf-like and everything. And then she's like, perhaps to some. But
would you rather go fetch the blood-drinking halfling?
What?
Exactly. So go fetch Baldy then.
You were an accident, Wendell, and I never loved
you. Sorry, Kurt, what did you say?
I said you were an accident, Wendell, and I never loved you.
So Wendell kind of does the Charlie Brown with his head down and walks away.
So I am after I wrap up my letter, I'm just gonna tell my wife to keep the kids inside because they found a body and they're not really sure how the person died. That Glendale's dog apparently died in the same incident, but nobody's sure what the details are. So just keep me here. And then I'm going to go outside when I see Wendell run off, and I'm going to follow Wendell.
Okay. So, are you trying to be sneaky about it?
No.
Okay. All right. So, Wendell doesn't seem like he sees you, or if he does, he doesn't even care.
And then at that point, I'd be like, "Hey, Wendell, wait up!"
Oh, Dudo, right?
Yep. So your dad, nobody likes him.
He's
you
not
know
my
that,
dad.
Right? Oh, I thought he was.
He's my
Good news
cousin.
for you.
He's a real hard ass.
He is a real hard ass. So where are you running off to? Because it's dangerous around here. They found a dead guy and something killed a dog.
They found a dead guy?
Yeah.
And someone killed a dog?
And someone killed a dog.
When did this happen?
Not that, I don't know when the guy actually died, but they found him 20 minutes ago at most.
Did Lucius know?
Oh, yeah, he was there.
Why didn't he tell me?
He probably figured you couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
It's a very Lucius kind of judgment to make. So where are you running off to in such a hurry?
He sent me to go find Baldy. And,
that's
and
probably a good idea.
He said that I got to go get him, but he wouldn't tell me what I'm getting him for. So I'm like, I'm supposed to just show up to Baldy's place and be like, "Hey, come on, and we need you." But
yeah,
for what?
Let's just go. I think the answer is to explain to Baldy that they found someone dead and a dog dead, and so we need his help with that.
Okay,
come on, let's go.
That makes more sense. I wish Lucius would just, be a little bit more. I don't know.
Normal? Yeah. Everyone feels that way, kid.
I didn't want to say it. He is my cousin, after all. All right, so you guys head over to Baldy's. and you see him up in a tree.
In squirrel form.
No.
That would just make it all the funnier if he actually did transform into squirrels periodically.
Well, wait for it, because he is up in a tree and he seems to be kind of hanging out on a branch in a meditative state.
So I'll stare at him for a minute. I'm really unsure what the etiquette is for interrupting the druids who are praying in trees. Hey, Baldy. Got a bit of a situation going on here.
And without him opening his eyes, he turns into a squirrel and runs down the tree. And of course, that happens when Tony is gone. And then he stops right in front of you guys and returns into his normal shifter form. Yes, what is it that you need?
There was a corpse was found in the woods. He appeared to have died, having bled out of his face, and his fingers were all mangled. Nearby, Glenda Mountain Shadow's dog apparently had been involved in whatever happened, and it had crawled away on broken legs and died, I think, after she found him. I'm not sure exactly when the dog died, but in any event, Luscious needs your help with something related to the body. It said the kid here, so I decided, since the kid didn't actually have any relevant information that would make you want to break your meditation, that I would come with him.
Oh my, it seems like it's been quite a morning.
Yeah.
All right.
Is this side of the continent like especially slippery? Or because I've been noticing that I've been having more trouble keeping my footing since I got here.
It is winter. There's bound to be some ice on the ground at times.
Yeah, but is this like magical ice? Because that would explain a lot.
Not to my knowledge, no.
I think we may need to do some research on this. See if the ice on this side in the Elding Reaches maybe is just more slippery than common ice.
There have been known to be coterminous areas of the land that where pieces of the realm of ice might pop through. That might be accounting for some magical ice of some sort, or more supernatural ice and snow formations.
Well then, mystery solved. I guess we figured that out. Anyway, there was this dead body. We should probably go find Luscious and see what he wanted.
Yes, let's do that. And Wendell is like very shy in front of Baldy. He kind of is like twiddling with his thumbs and averting his gaze as much as possible.
Yeah, if your cousin asked, just say you didn't follow like me here to get him. Just say you got him on your own. Because he's not going to like it if he finds out I came with you.
Okay. Thank you, Dudo.
No problem, kid. And I'll like pat him on the back. And I start heading back.
And he's like, oh, that felt good.
Yeah, I've got the magic fingers.
So the people are right when they say that you have those magic fingers.
They're wrong when they say I drink blood, though.
Wait, that was you?
Well, let's just say we've established that there is a crossover event between this and the plane of ice. And so I walked into an area of enchanted, magical, otherworldly ice, and it caused me to slip. And I fell very close to the body. and some blood may have splashed onto my face, which of course your cousin took in the worst possible way.
That's really gross.
Yeah,
Ugh.
it was unpleasant, but wash it off and all is well again.
Well, okay. So you guys
I am definitely not going to become patient zero for whatever infection spreads through these woods. I said so in a letter to my brother.
So Wendell just kind of looks at you like, huh? And then you guys walk back to town. Do you guys mind if we take a 5-minute break?
That's fine.
Cool. Think Tony's okay?
Don't know. Probably something with his kid.
Yeah. Either that or pooping. Well, so Dudo, Wendell, and Baldy appear outside of Iris's apothecary.
So
And
I will go in. I assume I know Iris because I've got to get massage oil somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Baldy follows you in. Wendell takes that moment to peace out. Because he is really afraid of whatever situation is going on right now with blood drinking elves and people being killed and dogs being maimed and all that stuff. And so Baldy walks in and he's like, so fill me in on what is going on.
I'm going to walk over to the body. I assume that the body's just sort of out in the open on a slab, not somewhere. I'll be like, hey, Baldy. Also, I didn't mention, but there was like a strange smell. You're a shifter. You're like good at sniffing stuff, right?
Indeed. And that's when Iris chimes in and she says, yeah, why do you think I burned all this sage? It was disgusting. It is quite potent. I'm not familiar with this smell, though. Yeah, me either. So, it seems this man is an outsider to our town, yes?
I don't know that that's been established. We haven't figured out that everyone in town's accounted for. Have we tried cleaning up his face, getting the blood off it?
Iris is in the process of doing that already. And as the face gets cleaned up, it doesn't look familiar. Doesn't seem like anybody that is known to the town. But once the blood is cleaned up, you notice that his face is tattooed.
I thought it was one of the dancing horns, but I was mistaken. This one's much better looking.
Lucius, you do have a sense of humor, don't you?
I'm not from that region.
Indeed. Ah, Tornelius. Walking around and with your nethers hanging out as usual.
I think I fell asleep.
You missed Baldy turning into a squirrel and climbing down the tree.
I don't believe it. No way. He would do that because he's not a real druid.
So
So Iris, is there any ideas on your part about how the working theory was maybe this guy attacked the dog and then bled out his face and died, and the dog crawled away? Wasn't my personal favorite theory, but that's what was being said.
well, it's possible, I guess. It's clearly what we're seeing.
So is he here now?
Huh?
Baldy's here, yes.
Baldy's
Yeah.
here now? All right, yeah. I just wake up. Oh, God. What?
Baldy just ignores your clear, blatant disrespect. So Iris continues. I mean, his hands are quite mangled, but it looks self-inflicted. And with the eyes dissolving and his face bleeding out, I don't know of anything that could do that. Yes, this is a strange circumstance. I've never encountered anything like it myself. But these tattoos, strangely familiar. I can't
Something
quite
the
place
younger
them, though.
generation gets.
Well, these are of a very old generation.
My body is a temple.
Was there anything else found on this man's person?
I point to Tornelius. He took them, whatever they were.
Oh,
Nothing. Just a knife and a squirrel head on a stick. I'm going to keep it.
Tornelius, might I see this object?
Look at your eyes, not your hands. Oh, like, real close to his face.
And he becomes curious. That is a totem of the children of winter. That is where I've seen these designs before. And you see a look of concern cross over his face. The children of winter are somewhat of druidic cousins of the wardens of the wood, though very, very different in our interpretations of the druidic ways. The children of winter believe that, well, death is a normal part of life, and while that is true, they take it to an extreme. They believe that sometime soon a calamity will arise and usher in a new era. They're apocalypse seekers of sorts. They revel in death and decay.
That sounds like these children of winter. Do they happen to live with these warden of the woods? These perhaps these cousins siphoning off their food and living off their.
At this point, Dudo is going back, going.
Projection much?
Lucius, no. When I say cousins, it's sort of a nomenclature, just a way of creating a semblance of a relationship. We all stem from the same druidic teachings, but some of the various druid sects have gone in different directions or interpretations of these teachings. And so the children of winter, they generally keep to themselves. They do not like to interact with outsiders.
I'm liking them even more.
If the children of winter are involved, then this may be a more dangerous situation than I might have imagined. What is that?
The children of winter.
Texting you.
Cornelius obviously doesn't believe anything he's saying, because why would he know anything? Because he's not a real druid.
On the other hand, who maybe these children of winter are.
Maybe I should find these guys. Yeah.
Especially if Baldy doesn't like him.
Perfect.
So, Baldy says, Iris, is there anything else that must be done with this body? No. Then we must quickly perform the funeral rites. We do not want any remains of this corpse. If the children of winter are involved, we do not want to invite any more of their kind. And the longer that this body remains, the more likely that is to be the case.
But if they keep to themselves, why have they come to Homewood?
That is a good question, Lucius. One I'm afraid that I do not know the answer to.
Well, they need to answer for this murder of this dog.
Well, perhaps in time they will. But now I think we should attend to our own affairs and try to put this matter to bed as quickly as possible.
Yes, I am weary. I need some rest.
What you need is a massage. You should stop by. I keep saying, you'd be much, much happier if you just got an occasional massage.
Keep your distance, bloodsucker.
That'll be hard to give you a massage, but...
So Iris begins preparing the body, and Baldy then directs Highstorm to make the arrangements to get together the funeral pyre. And then most everybody leaves to go about their business. What do you guys do?
Cornelius is thinking in his head where the best place to be if he were one of these Sons of the Winter or whatever druids.
Children of Winter.
Children of Winter. Yeah, whatever. Same difference.
No.
He didn't know.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
That's how he remembers it. They're the Sons of Winter.
Just remember it by their acronym, the cows.
Lucius, what are you doing?
I'm going back home, and much to my dismay, Wendell is back there doing whatever he does, which is nothing. I'm finding my old rusty crossbow, and I've got some bolts because there's going to be a hunt, and we are going to look for these children of winter because they are going to answer for this brutal murder of this poor dog, and it will not go it will not go
Punished.
unpunished.
And then, Judo, what are you doing?
Well, first I will offer my massage services to Iris. No, I'm sure she's gotten them before because they've got to pay for this oil somehow.
Mm-hmm.
But should tell her, after a stressful day like today, obviously the tension just goes through the roof. So you should stop by like later today or tomorrow. Make sure you can work all that tension out.
I will take you up on that. Hey, are you good on oil?
For the moment, I think I'm good. I'll probably need some in a week or two, though. Assuming I get a customer, which I haven't in a long time.
Well, I'll have some prepared. Meanwhile, Kurt, Dudo starts to find himself feeling more irritable, and doesn't really know why.
He's had too many massages.
I've been dealing with Lucius. That's always got to be taxing.
So Dudo becomes more and more angry as the day goes on, snapping at little things. So what might that look like for Dudo, Kurt?
It would probably look something like he's still standing outside his shop, but now he's more like, "Hey, get a massage, fuckface." Fucking hillbilly losers. Why did I ever move to this place? I was a successful masseuse before I came here. What are you looking at?
Yeah, you are definitely drawing some strange looks, and most people are kind of walking quickly away from you. Additionally, you develop some strange itching, primarily on the back of your hands, and then also the back of your neck as well.
So I will spend time scratching that as I yell at people who go by. That's right, keep walking. You don't get a massage. No massages for you. I want the level of your tension to just ramp up until you have a heart attack and die.
Yeah, everybody is pretty much staying away from the region around your little shop.
Tonelius is at home packing some stuff up. Ma, I'm going. I'm gonna find these people. I found it. This is gonna do it. They're gonna show me how to be a druid. Okay, Ma. See ya. She's just like,
Bye,
Ah.
Wendy. Don't forget the lollipops.
oh, yeah. Thanks, Ma. Walk outside with a lollipop.
So are you
Walk
meeting?
down. I probably walk past Dudo.
And you, keep your shirt on. Nobody wants to see that.
You need a massage before I go.
Do I need a massage? You are the one who needs a massage. Why are you even asking me this?
Are you offering before I go?
No, not for you. Because you're... I can't believe it, but I think I'm beginning to agree with Lucius. And that just makes me even angrier.
Maybe Lucius has had this disease the whole time. He's the start of it all.
He
He's
is actually
zero.
patient zero.
It's like, okay, well, do you want to find some more customers? Because I'm
Of course
going.
I do. Where are you going?
I'm gonna find these Sons of Winter.
Oh, it can't be any worse living with the Sons of Winter than here. Fine, I'm coming with you.
Sweet.
And I'm
All right.
gonna grab a tree branch or something so that I can just start scratching.
Perfect.
Those work really well for that. I would know.
So, do you guys all meet up with Lucius then?
I don't know what he's doing.
Yeah, I don't think we would seek out Lucius.
No.
It's more like we're traveling the same direction.
Yeah. So you guys are traveling, and you eventually meet up. Just happen to be going in the same direction. You see Lucius with his crossbow, Dudo wielding some kind of tree branch that he's continuously using to scratch himself with, and naked Tonelius. with a lollipop.
And Wendell, who's on point, technically my human shield.
Oh, Lucius, I don't want to be out here. It's cold.
All right, Morty.
It'll toughen you up.
All right, so Lucius, what do you do when you see the other two walking up?
Suspicious of them, but it makes sense because we need to find these children of the corn and get them.
Are you trying to find the Sons of Winter too?
And I show my crossbow. Yes, of course I am.
Yay! Okay, we're on an adventure. Let's go.
Wait, do you want to go live with the Children of Winter?
Come on, guys.
I plan on shooting them, then interrogating them.
Oh, thank God. If I went to live with them and you moved in too, that would be a nightmare. I said it to Wendell before, and I'll say it to you now. Nobody likes you, Lucius.
And that's how I like it.
Guys, you better hurry up. I'm going to leave you guys behind.
Just you and Wendell way ahead.
All right.
So I will say that, and then I'll say, God damn it. And I just drop down and wriggle along the ground to try to scratch more. and then pop up and start running after them.
Dudo, what's wrong? You haven't had your enough blood today or something?
Shut the fuck up. I'm itchy. That's what's wrong.
I kind of like this guy.
So Dudo, you notice that with the itching, you with the itching on the back of your neck and also on the backs of your hands, there are, like, on the back of your neck, there's 2 lumps, one on either side of your neck, and then a lump on the backs of both your hands. And they're not only itchy, but they're also kind of painful. Like, you can feel like the area kind of pulsating and very warm.
So I'm not going to share that with anybody, but I will now be like, I will drop the tree branch because that's obviously not useful anymore. But I am going to sort of more carefully try to like scratch around the bumps to continue to satisfy the itch without actually poking the bumps.
And both of them, they're not like fluid-filled sacs. They're both very hard. So you guys are heading out of the town. You guys are traveling probably about an hour or so. Within that hour, you begin to start to see the smoke rising from above where Homewood might be. So you figure that the pyre has started. Thought my cat was scratching the couch. And then each of you guys roll me a d6.
6.
3.
What'd you get, Kurt?
2.
Okay. So Tonelius, especially you being drawn to the druidic ways, find yourself kind of on a path and realize, oh, you are there's the rune tree right ahead of you. And so you decide to go and check it out because it's always one of those things that kind of reminds you of your passion for wanting to become a druid. Since it is
live in that tree.
Lots of squirrels live in that tree, and it's also an ancient tree that bears these strange designs in the bark. And as you approach it, you realize that the tree seems to have been vandalized. And not only is the bark like ripped from the tree, and the runes that were sort of shaped within the bark all or marred and everything, but there's also, it seems to be a good deal of blood all around the tree on the bark.
Somebody's not going to be happy about this. I don't know who, but somebody. I just know it. You guys see that?
See what?
The tree. It's all messed up.
So I will look more closely.
I'll walk up to it and everything.
Yeah, so, I mean,
I will sniff the tree.
Okay. You smell a quite similar smell to what you smelled on the corpse.
So it's got that corpse's blood on it. Or something very similar.
Or maybe the tree killed him.
What are you doing?
You know,
Wendell,
There
come
was a-
back over here.
there was a time when I wouldn't have put any credence in the tree killed him. But I just hate this fucking place so much now that, yeah, maybe the tree killed him.
I just smile when I hear Dudo say that.
I'm just imagining like a Milton from Office Space happening here. This the destro. Gonna burn the place down.
They took my stapler and then they moved me from the squirrels.
You believe they have my stapler?
They were merry and just gonna burn this place to the ground. And I ordered no salt, no salt. Dudo, give me a roll.
3.
Okay. Seeing this tree, you have an irrational, sudden rage and hatred that you want to direct at that tree, but you have just enough self-restraint not to act on it, unless you really want to.
No, I would, seeing as I don't have like anything to really hit it with other than my hands, and I don't want to break my money-making hands, I will restrain myself. You know, was this whole place built around this tree? Because I got to tell you, this tree sucks. I hate this fucking tree. Do any of you have an axe? Because we can just take this tree out now. Then I can go fucking home.
Let me roll. Maybe. I got a 5. Maybe I packed an axe. I packed random things. I don't think I planned a single thing that I packed. I just packed random shit.
Does anybody have an axe where I don't have to wonder where they were keeping it?
I got a bag.
So you do have an axe, but it's a small hand axe, and this is a pretty big tree.
I got this hatchet.
That's good enough. I'm gonna take the hatchet and just begin burying it into the tree. Not even specifically trying to chop it down. Just vandalizing the tree.
Long ways.
Yeah.
Split it in half.
Every time you hit the tree, you feel like just like an overwhelming sense of satisfaction with each and every strike.
Is your hatchet magical?
Maybe.
It's like I'm getting a massage with every swing. And I just keep going.
It's going to take a while, though. You should get going.
Why?
Maybe you can come back.
Yeah, but we can kill the tree.
It'll take a while. I want to go
Yeah,
find
yeah.
the Sons of the Winter.
Sure, but the Sons of the Winter clearly are somehow related to this blood on the tree. They'll come here eventually. What else is there's nothing else out here that's worth a goddamn. Of course they're going to come to the tree eventually.
All of you guys give me a D6 roll.
5.
5.
6.
Nice.
Okay. So of everybody, it's Lucius that makes the connection that the tree's condition and the body's the condition of the hands might be related.
It's like his fists got mangled.
Since the hands were all mangled, it seemed self-inflicted, like it had been clawing at something very hard.
Yeah, I don't know if Dudo made that connection, but I made that connection when I realized I didn't have a weapon to attack the tree with.
Yeah. But now Lucius has made that connection, especially hearing you guys kind of talk about it and argue over the tree, and then with you whacking at it, it's brought more attention. That Lucius is kind of like,
Easy now.
wait
There's
a
a naked guy
minute.
present.
Naturally curious, I will conduct little experiments like, let's try killing a root. Oh.
So, what do we know about the tree? Has this been here for like thousands of years or something?
It's been there for a very long time, basically unchanged. You know that Baldy often visits this tree to take care of it, to make sure that it's you don't know exactly what he does with it, because he doesn't do like any kind of pruning or giving it any kind of nutrients or anything like that, but he does spend a lot of time at this tree, and it seems like he is doing some kind of caretaking with it. And yeah, for as long as anybody in the town can remember, the tree has been nearby.
Okay. I let Wendell know that when the inevitable battle ensues, that I will take the I'll take the vampire halfling, and he just tackle the naked guy.
What? Why would we fight them? I just want to go home. It's cold.
Hey, it is cold. Wendell, go back to town and bring back like a torch and kindling. We'll just burn the tree down.
And
you warm yourself up when you're back there.
And then at that, everybody hears like a loud roar, and sees not 15 feet away from you guys, a huge grizzly bear standing on its two back legs, and posturing aggressively at the lot of you.
I begin chopping faster.
I was like, whoa. Hey, are you a druid?
It roars.
Is that a yes roar or a no roar? Roar once for yes, roar twice for no.
At that point, it gets down on its two legs and kind of takes a stutter step, like it's about to charge.
I'm going to try to climb the tree.
Give me a roll.
4.
I just like look over to Lucius and say, I think that's just a regular bear. We should probably get out of here.
So
I learned in the city, bears can't climb trees. Just climb the tree with me.
So Dudo begins climbing the tree, but in the process drops the hatchet.
Oh, then I climb back down. I need the hatchet to kill the tree.
Lucius, what are you doing?
I tell Wendell to play dead. And I draw my crossbow.
Wendell is kind of just frozen in fear, but as you say that, he collapses.
Okay.
No, Wendell, run! Run to get away from the bear and get me flame.
I just hide behind the tree.
And then Lucius, what are you doing?
I just take like I just as I'm loading the crossbow, I just take a couple steps back.
So
You should shoot the tree. It feels amazing.
So Lucius, the bear, begins eyeing you and begins to charge.
Okay. So I'm just gonna wait till it gets like right up on me, and then try to shoot it right in the face.
All right, roll the die.
Big money. There's a 2.
So your arrow or bolt, whatever it might be, flies wild, and the bear charges and takes a swipe at you. But it is a little bit off center, and you're able to duck under the swipe of its massive claw.
All right.
Just look from behind the tree. Try again.
Tonelius, what are you doing?
I'm giving him encouraging words and just like trying to think. Become a squirrel. Become a squirrel. Become a squirrel. Become a squirrel.
Roll a d6.
Oh, shit, come here. 1.
Okay. You do not become a squirrel, but you're concentrating so hard that you shit your pants. Wait, you don't have pants.
It's one of the benefits, man.
So there's a growing pile of shit between Tonelius's legs. Then we have Dudo, who climbed up the tree, dropped his hatchet, climbed down the tree, grabbed the hatchet, and now what are you doing?
Now I'm going to continue to swing at the tree, going, fuck this fucking tree! Just trying to get as deep a cut as I can, but not specifically aiming in any one spot. So I'm just making lots of little chops.
All right. And then Lucius, what are you doing? This bear's looking like it's going to continue its attack.
Okay. There's no way I can load another bolt, so I reach down and grab my trusty hammer, and I'm going to whap it upside the head.
All right. Roll a d6.
4.
All right. So you hit it on its head, and it seems like it stuns the bear for a minute, but your hammer breaks. The head of the hammer flew off in the opposite direction of the force that you hit the bear.
Not good.
And the bear takes a moment, it's dazed, and it's like, and then it roars again, and then
the head of the hammer flies off and hits Wendell.
Actually, the hammerhead hits off the axe head that Dudo is chopping into the tree, and from the force of the chop and the deflection of the hammer, it comes back, hits the bear right in the eye, and causes it to run away in pain. I rolled a 1 on the attack. So.
Wow. Take it.
See, there's nothing that attacking this tree can't do.
So
I will pause briefly to pee on the tree.
That's got to be major relief right there.
While you're doing that, Lucius and Tonelius roll d6s.
2.
3.
Okay. So Lucius, you notice something as Dudo begins urinating on the tree. You get a glimpse at his neck, and you see these two like blackish sort of nodules, like kind of piercing through his skin, and with these strange lumps on his neck.
So I'm not going to touch Tonelius, but I reach down and get a stick and then poke at him and say, "Do you see that on Dudo?"
I will look over in the direction he's generally pointing with the stick. So, like, off in that direction somewhere. What? The bear ran off over that way.
And I walk over and turn my back to Dudo and look at Tonelius. There's something growing on his neck.
I got just the tool. Hey, Dudo, come here right quick.
I will go over. Can you make this quick? This is going to take a long time to kill this tree.
Yeah, hold on. And I just like turn your back to me, and I like put your head down, I guess, and just I take out that knife I got from the dude and just kind of trying to lance that some bitch off.
Oh, that's not a good idea.
I'm the best druid, guys. I'm the best druid.
So Tonelius, give me a roll.
Sure.
1.
Do we get inspiration or what action points here?
No, it's more fun this way.
Okay, then it's a 1.
Well, you miss with the knife, but somehow you kind of knock into it, and you break this nodule. And as you break it, a stream of green goo erupts and hits you right square in the face and chest, and you immediately feel this burning pain as your flesh begins to sizzle and pop and melt.
Is there water nearby?
Give me a roll.
There's some urine.
4.
There is, but it's frozen snow.
Use your
Good
own
enough for me.
poo.
I react
son
with,
of
motherfucker, Lucius was right! And I'm going to attack him with the axe.
Actually, so whatever is happening to you, Dudo, Tonelius's interaction has sped it up, and you take a moment where you're stunned, and your eyes melt from your head.
I can't wait to find these characters near a fucking tree that's mangled.
And the nodules that you had on the back of your hands, they erupt, and there's like this slimy black chitinous blade that pops from both of your wrists. And even though you do not have eyes, you can still sense your surroundings as good or better than you could with your normal vision, and you just become you're still you, to an extent, but you are absolutely enraged and desire blood.
So
You
I'll
called
turn
it.
around. I'll still turn around and attack him with the axe.
Hey,
All right.
get off me, crazy person!
Give me a roll.
Well, I got a 1. I'm just debating whether or not to re-roll that with my halfling luck. I might not get to use it otherwise, so I am 6.
Oh God! And here lies Tonelius.
So you don't outright kill Tornelius, but go ahead and say exactly what you do to him.
So spinning around, grabbing my neck, cursing, you do hear me say, I assume I can still speak, that Lucius was right about you. And I launch myself forward with the axe in one hand and the arm blade in the other, and just start chopping into your chest, stabbing with one arm and swinging the axe in the other.
I reach out to Wendell. Save me!
Who is still pretending to play dead. Additionally, Kurt, interestingly enough, you at the moment you were able to talk. But as time proceeds, you notice that your tongue gets more and more stiff, and it's more and more difficult to actually enunciate words. So Lucius, what are you doing as you see a spray of acid hit Tonelius after he broke something on the back of Dudo's neck, and then Dudo proceeding to chop into Tonelius?
So how far away we from town? An hour?
Not that far. You guys have been walking around for an hour, but I assume that you guys have been probably walking kind of around the town in a perimeter that's been getting bigger and bigger. So you're actually only about 10 minutes run from the town where you are right now.
Okay. So I am going to start to back away because this is way more than I bargained for. There's no little children of winter to kill here. There's some sort of halfling who doesn't look like, I don't know if this is what a vampire is, but it could be. And I'm not, yeah, this is not what I wanted. So I'm going to start backing up and load my crossbow and then say, Wendell, you probably want to play alive and get the fuck out of here. And I'm going to turn and run.
Wendell,
Get back here, asshole!
The Martians have invaded.
So, Wendell gets up and begins running, but not very quickly. So,
As long as I am faster than he is.
So Dudo, if you want to take a swipe at Wendell, you are able to, or you can press your attack on Tonelius.
I've got to kill Wendell. He'll get away. 4.
Okay. You chop into his hamstring.
Yeah,
So
hamstring him.
He's not going anywhere. But as you pull out the axe blade, the axe also breaks.
Well, luckily, I've got these 2 arm blades. And I'll just start stabbing into the back of his leg.
he screams out in agony, and he calls out, "Lucius, save me! Lucius, save me!"
It's cold and I want to go home.
Can I move?
Yeah, you can move.
I was like, I got you, friend. And I just like fall down on top of him. On
top of Wendell?
No, onto Dudo.
Oh. So in your fall, what is it that you're hoping to do?
I guess I'm trying to just like get him and just like hold him in place. Like I'm bigger than him. So
all right. Roll.
I'm just trying to use my weight against him and just hold him, and I was like, run! Even though he's like hamstring, he can't fucking run. And maybe I'll try and bite him. That'd be great.
Okay.
A squirrel has fangs. A 4.
Okay. You fall onto him. You even bite him, but it sends a spray of acid into your mouth. So you're feeling your teeth begin to fall out of your mouth as your gums boil away, and you feel your insides beginning to bubble and pop.
I'm just like laying there now. Oh, one.
Also, you're naked, and Dudo has an intimate knowledge of anatomy from years spent as a masseuse. So he knows how to make it hurt.
So as all of this is happening, Lucius, you're running, and you then encounter Baldy, who seems to be bloody and cut up and everything. And he shouts, "Lucius, quickly follow me. It's not safe in the village."
Well, it's not safe out here either.
We must get to the rune tree. It's our only hope.
Sure, I'll meet you there. And I let him go.
All right. So we're going to take a moment and follow Lucius. So Lucius, you get to the town, and you find that everybody is in one of two states. They're either dead. Well, okay, 3 states. Dead, fleeing, or turned into some kind of monstrosity, with their like limbs and heads becoming misshapen. This kind of black chitinous claws emerging from where their fingers and hands used to be. Some of them even getting spikes that protrude from their backs. And they're savage. Those ones are savagely ripping people apart. Several of them, when you look at them, have their eyes melted out of their skulls. And a couple look at you. How do you react?
Despite there's a slight satisfaction that the town is being decimated because they finally got what's coming to them. I reassessed the situation and realized that probably the town is not my best angle, and I will turn around and head back to the rune tree to see what's going on there. Maybe Baldy has some insight.
All right, so roll a d6.
A 3.
All right. So you turn to head back for the tree, but you only get a few steps before one of these things pounces on your back, knocking you to the ground, and it turns you over and is about to slash at you. But you happen to have your crossbow loaded and ready, because as you were running, subconsciously you loaded it, and you shoot it in the neck, causing it to fly off of you. And thankfully, the acid of its blood did not hit you.
Lucky you.
Damn.
But now there are more headed towards you. And you are on the ground.
Run, bitch, run.
Yeah, it's gonna have to get up and turn around and run.
All right, roll another d6.
Let's see. Come on, die. Ooh, 6.
All right, so you get up and spring up and
Dodging and weaving.
dodging and weaving and running even faster than you did when you were running towards the town. Somehow you found a burst of energy, and you're quickly lengthening the distance between you and those things. Now, coming back to Dudo and
Tonelius.
Baldy runs up. He sees what is going on. He sees the tree, and he's like, oh no. And he kind of quickens his breathing, and you see him attempt to touch the tree, and as he does so, nothing happens. And he said, no, what have you done?
Run. Run.
And then he sees Dudo and Tonelius, and you see his shoulders slump, but he is not one to go without a fight. And so you see him kind of turn a bit more bestial. He grows a bit in size. He gains his own claws, and his mouth and nose elongate into a type of muzzle. And you hear him kind of growling, looking not just to Dudo, but also to the other creatures that are chasing after Lucius.
Tonelius just like watches this like, whatever. Still not a real druid. Like all in his head because he can't talk. Everybody knows shifters can do that. Whatever. It's not an actual druid.
Kurt, you're muted.
I just said, I just picture him rolling his eyes and shaking his head. This happens. Like, thanks, Captain Tryhard. But no good.
I'm basically just doing my best to pin him down. While
and since I'm potentially pinned, I am assuming, depending on which way I'm facing, I am going to try to bite either him or Wendell.
So everybody is going down in this scenario. So you guys just go ahead and describe how you go down.
Well, first I'm going to bite into Wendell's throat. Just get rid of that whiny little bitch now.
All right.
And I rolled a 6, so bad news for Wendell.
Yep, his throat is gone. His blood tastes good. You are now drinking blood.
Well, I didn't completely, I never dismissed the possibility that I was always doing that. You don't just move from the city out to the middle of nowhere if people aren't chasing you for something.
Fair point. Tonelius, what are you doing in your final moments before you pass?
Well, I mean, he's in probably an excruciating amount of pain, more than he's ever been in his life. But he's a true druid, though, so he's just going to look up to the tree, looking for another squirrel. And it's just like he's just going to get stuck that way.
After I bite into the throat of Wendell, I would at least try, like with the blade coming out of my arm, to just go for a good nut shot on Naked Boy, just to show him wear pants.
So as you did that and pierced into his scrotum, you noticed that Tonelius seemed to be just in the slightest possibility had grown a squirrel tail. But whatever possibility might have had happened died out with his final breath.
I rolled a 1. It was just a squirrel tail I had in my pocket.
Oh.
It looked like he was growing a squirrel tail, but he just shit himself again. That was
it. So, Lucius, what are you doing now?
So I come upon the scene here.
Mm-hmm.
And so Wendell is quiet. I heard him scream and then he was silenced.
Mm-hmm.
So as I'm running up and I load that crossbow and I go to shoot Wendell because I don't want to listen to his dumbass. And Dudo has taken care of that for me, which I'm thankful. And there's just a heap of people there, and then I guess I see these other creatures running through the woods. What's Baldy doing?
He's transformed and is getting ready to launch into Dudo.
Okay, so it's relatively quiet, and I'm pretty satisfied that the town has been had their comeuppance. So I just kind of load. I got a crossbow in my hand, and I just take aim at one of these creatures coming at me and shoot it.
I thought you were going to say, "Hey, Baldy, you look like you got everything under control here, so I'll see you later." Keep running.
So, Baldy launches in to begin attacking Dudo, and Dudo, with your small size, he is able to easily lift you up off of the ground, and he lashes you right through the belly, exploding all of your entrails, but it splashes on him, and your blood begins eating into his flesh, and he drops to a knee, and Lucius, you see some of the others begin to overtake him and rip into him as well.
Yeah, as
Okay.
I die and see that my blood is starting to eat into him, I laugh. It's the last bit of humor before I black out.
And then Lucius, how do you go down?
So as I guess these creatures are like begin to circle, and I'm like trying to like pick one of them off. I don't need to even bother. I just kind of sit down and put the crossbow down and just breathe a quick sigh of absolute relief as they finally take me.
Yeah, the one to deliver the final blow is Eglantine.
So you should do like the zombie movie thing of like flip the crossbow around to shoot yourself in the head.
So what'd you guys think?
That was fun.
I do wish.
I'm not sure I know exactly what overtook them, but that was fun.
Yeah. I want to see these people.
Oh, you will.
I want to encounter a naked guy by a damaged tree.
They'll probably be transformed into some hideous something.
Well, this was back when we were still doing our research in the tower.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's going to be like bloated and shit.
If there's anything even left of him after the squirrels got their piece.
That's true. Squirrels are probably behind the whole thing.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
The Children of Winter is probably an all-squirrel organization. They just occasionally transform into like humanoids to throw people off.
They're like reverse druids.
Right. D&D has had a couple different kinds of evil squirrel over the years. There was the Skirids, I think was one, and then there was like just a race of intelligent squirrels.
Squirrels are awesome. I've tried to convince Lisa to let me get a pet squirrel, but she's terrified of them.
Oh yeah.
What about like a pet rat?
I think she'd be fine with that, actually.
But she's not. But she's not fine with a squirrel.
No. There's a story there.
I feel like squirrels would be killed off by your cats.
Yes.
There would be no peace.
This was definitely before we had gotten the cats. The conversation had taken place.
To be partners in crime.
Yeah. It'd be the one time that Lord Baelish and Tad Cooper worked together. But yeah, so hopefully this gives you guys a little bit of interesting background on what's been going on in the Eldeen Reaches and what you guys have ahead of you.
We encountered shit like this, so we knew it was ahead of us.
Yeah,
but
on a body horror scale of like 0 to Mike, this is only like a 7.
Yeah.
Although the dissolving teeth was a nice touch.
Well, I mean, you take a shot of acid in the mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like it makes sense. So next week, are we going to be playing McCormick's Folly then?
I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
All right. I'll talk to you later. Have a good night.
Take
All right.
care.